at 6. Coverage you can count on.
Good evening and Merry Christmas. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle Carolla. Both Bob and Nicole are off this evening. But first up on this Christmas night, as millions of people celebrate the holiday with family and friends, it's also very important for us to remember the thousands of people right here in this area who go hungry. However, as News 13's Mason Snyder explained, some people were treated to a great holiday meal, and it's tonight's top story. Mason? All right, Mason, thank you. And in Florence, many came together to make sure everyone in the community could enjoy a traditional holiday meal. The Manor House opened its doors Christmas morning for more than 100 people. They were served turkey and stuffing and all the sides. With donated food and money, Tamara Richardson, the assistant to the director of Manor House, said this year they cooked all the food instead of catering it.
It makes you feel better.
31 volunteers served the hot plates of food, cups of eggnog, and cake with smiles on their faces. Now, in addition to the meal, they distributed free blankets to the people as they finished eating their meals. Well, in Dillon County, more giving this Christmas in the small community of Little Rock. Parishioners of Fresh Beginnings Christian Center gathered for a service, which included songs and dancing, as well as offering each other blessings and lots of love. Pastors Ricky and Annie Gilchrist also organized a free dinner. They say so many people in the area were hard hit by economic times. They lost their jobs and their homes, so just putting food on the table is very challenging.
A lot of people that don't have the
Well, more than 60 people attended the service and the holiday meal made by church members. Organizers say it was a great way to celebrate with their community. Well, organizers at many of today's events say the cold, rainy weather drove a lot of people away who would normally come out for free dinners. But rain isn't the only thing we saw around this area in Christmas's past. With more on some of the unusual Christmas weather during the years, let's send it upstairs to News 13's meteorologist Lindsay Milborn. Lindsay? All right, thank you, Lindsay. Well, many local businesses across the area closed for Christmas today. Holiday closings include all government offices and town halls and many restaurants. But with so many places closed, some decided to stay open to drum up some business today. And continuing our team coverage of Christmas, News 13's Landon Sears tells us why some places just chose to stay open. Landon? You took advantage of some of that Chinese food, right, Landon? And the local businesses weren't the only ones open for business. Some of our local law enforcement and firefighters are also on duty tonight. And News 13's Aisha Khan caught up with some of them to find out what it's like working on a holiday, even though we know where most people are at home with their families. Aisha? All right, thank you so much, Aisha. Coming up, Frank's back with a look at how long this rain is going to stay with us this Christmas night. But for many across the U.S., the same rainstorm brought plenty of snow and poor road conditions, leaving hundreds stranded or stuck at home. And last-minute shoppers possibly helped retailers this holiday season. More on this in the Carolina Business Report when coverage you can count on continues.
News 13.
You know, as far as that much snow like in South Dakota, I don't know if I want that much, but a little snow would be nice.
But we're not going to get it.
We're not getting it. You never give me snow, Frank.
We got the rain today, and
You can count on.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle Carolla. Bob and Nicole are off this evening. Well, first up tonight, the search for a missing 4-year-old boy is finished and he's home safe this Christmas Eve. Florence County deputies say the boy, Trey Harold McGee, wandered away from his Coward home yesterday afternoon near North Matthews Road. News 13's Samantha Shepard was on the scene as he was found today and brings us tonight's top story. Now, investigators say the boy was wearing blue jeans and a jacket in brave temperatures under 40 degrees for 15 hours. Again, he was taken to the hospital for a checkup and is expected to be okay. Well, a pedestrian died last night after they were hit by a van outside Hartsville. The Highway Patrol says the van hit 2 people around 8 o'clock, one on foot and another on a bike on Highway 102. The bicyclist is okay. The pedestrian died. However, no charges will be filed since they were in the road illegally. Now, Darlington County Coroner Todd Hardy will release the victim's name pending notification of family. Well, a little more than a month passed since a woman was run over by a car outside of Kmart on North Kings Highway. She was left paralyzed. New at 6 tonight, News 13's Mason Snyder joins us with what her family is now doing to support her. Mason? That is a tough story. Thank you, Mason. Well, if you're still not finished with your holiday shopping, you might just be out of luck, as most stores are probably closed for the evening. But as News 13's Aisha Khan shows us, some retailers say they definitely got their share of last-minute shoppers. She joins us now live in the studio. All right, thank you, Aisha. Well, News 13 wanted to know what your most favorite Christmas gift of all time was. Rusty Ray hit the streets today to find out why people were more excited to give an extra special gift. Now, we also ask you on Facebook what your favorite present that you ever received was, and here's some of what you had to say. Kirsten Godfrey says her favorite Christmas gift was her digital camera. She loves photography. Now, Julie Minnick says her favorite present was a stereo. She says her records and albums and 8-track tapes from when she was in the 7th grade take her to another world. And Sherry Holloman says she got a blue and pink banana seat bicycle with pink streamers when she was 7 or 8 that she'll never forget. She says it even had a basket on the front. And Janie Wilson says the best Christmas present she ever received is just her family being all together. I think I liked my realistic tape recorder that I got. Again, we thank you, of course, for your responses. And if you'd like to share your favorite Christmas present memories, just log on to Facebook and become a friend of News 13. We'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions, and maybe we'll share some of those later tonight at 11. Well, with so much giving and receiving for the holidays, a few returns are inevitable, but before you head back to the stores, here are some things to remember. First off, read the fine print on receipts so you're not surprised by things like restocking fees. Also, keep packaging intact. If something is damaged, it's harder to return. And if you're not going to return it right away, put it in a secure place to avoid damage and lost parts. And you don't necessarily need to make your returns right away.
Most retail.
Well, coming up, Frank is back with your most accurate Christmas forecast. And Fed Chief Ben Bernanke says it's still too early to say if the recovery will last now that we're out of the recession. Count on details. And Democrats moved their bill through the Senate and put President Obama one major step closer to changing the nation's healthcare system. More in tonight's Carolina Business Report when coverage you can count on continues. Well, welcome back. You're watching News 13 at 6. If it seems like more people live in South Carolina, you're right. The U.S. Census Bureau estimates nearly 58,000 people moved here just in the past year. South Carolina is now home to more than 4.5 million people. If the state grows enough in next year's official count, it could pick up a 7th seat in the U.S. House of Representatives. Well, job cuts, foreclosures, and bailouts stole the headlines as the U.S. struggled through another year of economic turmoil. 2009 finally brought the official end of the recession, but not the end of the nation's financial troubles. Alexis Christoforous takes a look back at a year which started in a full-blown crisis.